Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I am Sean Okimale here in Abuja. Tonight we'll be dissecting the issues that are bordering on parties and 2027 election. But I will take you to a very now controversial matter, which is now having an environmental disturbance which the National Security Advisor had to intervene on. We're trying to see how that can be settled and peace can be returned into that community. But first, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The Senate is considering a legislative move to institutionalize a presidential address every June 12 in recognition of the day's historical significance. The leader of the Senate, Senator Warri Delineation, disclosed this in an interview with the media that the Senate is hoping to prepare a bill to formalize the president's speech to the nation on that date. He further revealed that the proposed legislation would also seek to designate the National Assembly complex as the venue for future presidential swearing-in ceremonies. Over 275,000 complaints of human rights violations were recorded in May 2025, marking a disturbing rise in sexual violence, displacement, and attacks nationwide. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, revealed this, that many Nigerians feel abandoned and without recourse to justice. This was disclosed by the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Tony Ojukwu, during the presentation of the May 2025 Human Rights Dashboard in Abuja. In Anambra State, the Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has given assurances of an enabling environment and ease of doing business in the state through reforms in infrastructure, digital governance, and investor engagement. The governor says the intention of his administration in mapping out an organized industrial hub for all business is for the business to thrive. The governor made this known during a high-level business roundtable convened at the International Convention Center, Oka, the state capital, where several stakeholders discussed business enabling reforms under his administration.
Additional 2,000 hectares so altogether about 5,000 hectares. We're trying to now encircle that whole area, and we're having a master plan. We hired Mahindra, an international industrial park developer.
Lastly, the leader of the civil society organization, the Independent Media and Policy Initiative, Mr. Omoniyi Akinsunju, has been speaking on the federal government's economic reforms and its impact on the masses. At a news conference, Mr. Akinsunju listed the fuel subsidy removal, recent debt management strategy, as well as an increase in both foreign and domestic investment and a stable foreign exchange market. Some of the impact of some of the tangible reforms of the federal government.
To lend credence to this, between June 2023 and December 2024, at least 33 Nigerian states and the Federal Capital Territory reduced their domestic debt by a total of 1.85 trillion.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us tonight on the program. So, President Bola Tinubu has left Lagos, where he has spent several days away from the seat of power. And you can see him, it looks like a more relaxing and more cheerful, convivial situation with him and his godson, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, after we understand that the president has said all the issues are now over. Now, it's good to see that happening between both men. But the president since left Lagos earlier this morning, and as soon as he landed in Abuja, he was received by top federal government officials and heads of security agencies. And afterwards, the president headed to the International Conference Center, where Minister Nyesom Wike has made true to his promise to the president of renovating the International Conference Center. And now the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has been told by the president not to be distracted by busybodies and naysayers, but to focus on his mandate to transform the nation's capital. The president spoke at the inauguration of the rehabilitated and refurbished International Conference Center in Abuja, which has now been renamed in the honor of President Bola Tinubu. It's now called Bola Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja. This perhaps going to be the fifth also infrastructure that has been named or renamed or named after the president since assuming office in 2023. Let me allow you to listen to President Bola Tinubu at the commissioning.
I'm happy to be here to reopen this International Conference Center as part of our determined effort to change the way we do things, to reflect us as people of quality, people of character, people of determination, people of great spirit. That's what we are. And I'm glad in this week you are reflecting that. Don't pay attention to the busybody and the bystanders. Whatever they say, continue with your good work. You are a transformational leader. You have the voice, foresight, the vision, and determination to succeed. Thank you very, very much.
Those are the words of President Bola Tinubu earlier today. But we will be delving into a matter of high sensitivity, and it's about the internal workings of the People's Democratic Party, especially at that meeting of the concerned PDP stakeholders yesterday, which we saw the communique being read by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and we saw some former governors of the People's Democratic Party, former governor of Abia, former governor of Benue, and former governor of Enugu State, and some other members of the National Assembly. What they resolved to is that in 2027, the People's Democratic Party should zone presidency to the southern region of the country. And they are saying, they are asking the party that as a matter of urgency, the party must now make a pronouncement that the zoning to the south will be happening. They're also saying that Sam Ayawu is authentic national secretary of the party and is the only one by law that is given the authority to send notice of meetings of the party. But that is going to be our conversation from one person who was at that meeting tonight. But it's going to be after the break. Everyone, join us again. Let's now get into it. Not only what is said at that meeting by some of these PDP stakeholders, they met yesterday night, and after that meeting, the communique was read by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. And the group is called the Concerned Stakeholders of the PDP. And they say that in the spirit of fairness, inclusion, federal character principles, and respect for the party constitution, the party must make an unequivocal pronouncement zoning its presidential candidate to the south in the 2027 elections after the unbroken years of Northern President, other President Muhammadu Buhari. They also insisting that Senator Sam Ayawu is the authentic national secretary of the party. But let me allow you to listen to the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike.
The eminent stakeholders and concerned leaders are alarmed that the party is an inevitable path to self-annihilation if urgent steps are not taken to rein in the desperate, divisive, and selfish tendencies that brought the party to its knees in the lead-up to the 2023 general election. The eminent stakeholders and concerned leaders resolve as follows. 1. That to further arrest the inexorable drift toward extinction in our party, the party must, without further delay, respect the judgment of the Supreme Court. We therefore unequivocally affirm Senator Sam Ayawu as the duly elected and substantive National Secretary of our great party. in the spirit of fairness, inclusion, federal character principles, and respect for our party constitution, the party must make an unequivocal pronouncement zoning its presidential candidate to the South in the 2027 election.
Minister Yinsom Wike. But what does this mean? There are those who have argued that whatever happens in the APC is APC's business. PDP business is PDP. The last president of the PDP is Goodluck Jonathan. And as such, they need to make that arrangement going forward. And perhaps that's the argument in 2019 and 2023 put forward by Atiku Abubakar and some of his supporters. But one person who was in that meeting will be coming on the program now to discuss some of the outcome of the meeting. I'm being joined by a former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, is live for us here on the program. Thank you so much, Honorable Yusuf, for joining us tonight.
It's my pleasure.
Concern PDP stakeholders, that is new to my ears. When did you guys form it?
Concern because of the issues on ground. We chose not to keep quiet. I came together, about 14 state chairmen, 3 zonal chairmen, national working committee members, senators, rep members, former members, and former national working committee members of the party across the country, realizing that if we do not do something, the party might end up in where Safara APC ended in 2023. They won all the elections, but lost in court because they didn't do the right thing at the party engagement.
One can sufficiently say that this is a weaker arm of the PDP, is it?
No, yes and no. Yes, because Wike is there. It's natural that because there are polarization and there are different cleavages in the party. But some people are there who do not agree with Nelson Wike that they must support Tinubu in the next election. However, I agree that the right thing should be done. The party for today has Senator Sam Anyanwu. Why? I was there about a few weeks ago. Why do we need Supreme Court? It's called Supreme. Now, it means that apart from God, when the Supreme Court of a nation take a decision, there's nothing you can do again. You went from High Court, Appeal Court to Supreme Court. You now choose to misrepresent the judgment of Supreme Court. However, you approach INEC to submit Anambra PDP governorship candidate nomination. And INEC told you that, hey, we wear a party to the suit that Supreme Court gave judgment on. We cannot pretend we are not aware of that judgment. So go back. We went back and made Secretary Anyanwu to sign that nomination. Initially, we used someone else as acting secretary. INEC did not acknowledge it. That's not a clear direction, indication, confirmation, what have you. So I don't know. Like I said a few weeks ago, Anyawu's tenure expires in November. The governors and National Committee proposed convention for August. So why are we in this quagmire?
Interesting. And of course, that statement that you're making reference to is very popular within the Nigerian legal community, reference to Justice Chukwudifo Oputa. And about also you can reference it to Justice Jackson, Richard Jackson in the United States, who says, Supreme Court, we are not final because we are infallible, but we are infallible only because we are final. Now, the Supreme Court had made a decision, but the problem of the parties still persists because on one hand, the Supreme Court has said the party's decision is final. And every member of the party should abide by the decision of the party. So there seems to be a lot of confusion that is going on. But the question I would like to ask you here, Honorable, is that there are those who think that those of you who met yesterday could be described as PDAPC.
I am PDP.
But, I mean, with an inflection of the APC.
No, sir. Yes, some week is the reason why people think that way.
And again, there are members out of the 5 governors who supported Bola Tinubu in the 2023 election, 4 of them were there. Nyesom Wike, members of the G5. The only person who was not there is Seyi Makinde. Nyesom Wike, Ugwanyi, former governor of Benue and former governor of Enugu State. So they were all there yesterday, which pointed at one thing, that these were those who had the interest of the APC had had. And the president, the minister said he will support President Bola Tinubu for second term.
How did you get there? If you had zoned the presidency of PDP, we zoned 2019, we zoned in 2015, we zoned in 2011, we zoned in 2007, we zoned 2003, we zoned in 1999. When PDP was at formative stage, there were a lot of very robust, intelligent, qualified northerners who wanted to run. Some stepped into the ring, but those who had the structure of the party insisted that in interest of Nigeria, because of where we're coming from, let the power go to the south.
So the interest of the party was jeopardized. What happens to the supremacy of the party?
Supremacy of the party is about the party doing the right thing. When the party deviated from its principles and values, what's supremacy? It's supremacy of impunity. If I was there a few weeks ago, if in 2014, people walked out of our convention in Eagle Square because they were convinced that power should go to the north, that Jonathan was eating into the northern town. And 2019, we lost in 2015. 2019, PDP realized the fallacy and the error and zoned to the north. Okay, let me ask you a question. If we don't zone now like we did in 2023, another candidate emerged in 2027. 2031, APC zone to the north. Where will we zone to?
But how do you then define? So you are sort of validating and explaining the reasons behind a lot of you who did not support Atiku Abubakar as a candidate of the PDP. You are justifying
at the primaries, I didn't support him. General election, I did.
But there are those who were at that meeting who did not support him. Now,
and they put their premise on the simple thing that party supremacy is based on you adhering to the party policy, principles, and the constitution.
Was it not?
And the party usually, normally as a matter of convention, zone presidency to north or south, zone national chairman to north or south, prelude to the presidential zoning. Party executive positions were zoned, and the chairman was zoned to the north, implying that presidential candidate will be zoned to what? South. But when it got to zoning of the presidency, people insisted that it must be left open.
But honorable, you're an honorable man, not because you were being called honorable because you served in the National Assembly, but because I know you that you are honorable. How honorable is it, and morally is it also for you to be working against a party and organization that you belong? Is it not honorable for you to step outside of the party if you do not agree with it? Those who work against the party, are they honorable?
I will walk out of the party if I don't feel convinced about what happened in the party. But if I discover that I'm not comfortable and I don't want to leave the party, I will work for whoever emerged. However, equity. You are not supposed to be speaking equity. You must come to equity with clean hands. Did those who said some people worked against them, worked for the party, all true? Nasarawa, Adamawa, and even me seated here, did those who on the other side worked for us in our election? The fact that the G5 had the godly temerity to step out that if you don't do this, we won't do this. does not mean that they are the one that worked against the party.
Is it honorable for for them to have worked in the party
Worked against the structure or the party? If they pretend to be working for the party and work against the party, it's dishonorable. But if they told you from day one, it's honorable.
So they were right.
They told you that they will not work for you if you don't do this.
And they worked against the party.
So why won't you? Okay, hello. What is the big deal if you had the presidential ticket in the north and they now zero their demand to national chairman, zone to the south? Is it that too big to win an election?
So you blame this on Atiku Abubakar and the rest who did not concede
there's nothing like the rest.
Exit of Yosha.
I blame it on Atiku Abubakar, not on the rest. There's no rest. He was the candidate. The onus fall on him to do everything to make the party win. Whatever any other person does is to support his effort.
So were you surprised when the former governor of Delta State now exited the party at the end of the day?
He said, it's not that he just exited the party. I regretted accepting the VP. See volume. Atiku Abubakar was the vice president of Nigeria 1999 to 2003. By our understanding, would naturally emerge as presidential candidate of the party. He fell out with Obasanjo. He didn't get the ticket. And found solace in the ACN. 2019, when he came back after walking out of PDP in 2014, when there was even a narrative or behind the scene conclusion that after Jonathan he could emerge, but he couldn't wait. He went to APC, lost the primary in APC, stayed with APC for general election. APC won. 2019 he came. We donated out of magnanimity. We accepted him back, and he became presidential candidate of the party. And Obi became his VP. 2023, he lost to Labour. How? I've heard a lot of narrative how Nelson Wike's ambition was the reason why Obi left. Coach me. Obi left because Atiku could not guarantee his VP-ship. Atiku openly told Obi that I will pick one of the serving governors as VP. When we form government, we'll see what we can do. Because he was so convinced of that promise from the so-called power that be in the villa. So Obi left. We're at the point of purchasing for presidential election in PDP, primaries in PDP. That's what he told Obi left. So he could not sustain the relationship with Obasanjo. He could not sustain the relationship with Obi for 4 years. Okowa came on board in 2023. He could not sustain a relationship with Okowa for 2 years. It speaks volume of the kind of person he is.
So if he had used or picked Nyesom Wike as a running mate, would the result have been different?
Definitely. Let's even leave Nyesom Wike. If he had not bungled the Obi relationship, if Obi had remained in PDP and he picked Obi as VP, I assume I'm not God, they would have won the election.
That's 6 million plus another 5 million.
It might not be a 6 million vote because you are.
It might be about 12, 13 million or thereabout.
Thank you. But how can you throw away, a block? Obi represented at that time the Southeast agitation for presidency. So if you had kept Obi in the party, so Nyesom Wike, what have you coming as an issue now is because I tell people the Obi movement became viral, become potent because Wike lost in PDP primaries, Osibajo lost in APC primaries, and Nigerians were looking for something different from the usual.
So if PDP does zoning to the south, and your group is saying you need to make, as a matter of urgency, make a proclamation about the zoning now. That's what your group is saying. If that happens, what about the North who will say, wait a minute, Bola Tinubu has spent 4 years. You guys, is the PDP going to say we are going to do 4 years? Or how do you balance it? What do you tell Nigerians to say, oh, vote for us for another 8 years so that South would have done 12 years.
From there, we move into the policies and the achievement of the government. I will begin to postulate why PDP is better than the APC. But when you fail ab initio from the foundation, it becomes difficult. You can't build on nothing. If you are saying, okay, let's concede to your argument. Okay, when you now pick a northern candidate, what do you tell the South? Oh, South, don't worry. He will do one term and give to you power. It's not serve as
the proponents and those who say that zoning in the PDP is not a national thing. It is a party thing. Just for a moment. And when that was crafted in the party, it was believed based on what goes on in the party. That the last time the party had sway at the center was Jonathan. And the next available zoning in the PDP is to the north. And those were those who supported the zoning to the north, or Atiku Abubakar's candidature in 2023. And that's what it's saying.
No, 2019.
Yeah. Even 2019 was ordinarily making sense because in any case, a northerner is still the president. But what do you say about 2023? When a northerner would have spent 8 years. And that was the argument that I had on this program. Those who are in the PDP and supporting Atiku Abubakar will tell you that forget APC. We are not APC. We are focusing on the PDP. What do you say to that argument?
The moment principles, policies are defined solely for a man's ambition, a man's desire, it becomes dangerous and most time calamitous. If Atiku could walk out of PDP in 2014, based on the fact that the power should move to North, went to APC, he didn't get the ticket. But based on conviction that power should go to the North, he remained and supported President Buhari to emerge. How come he still feels that in 2023 he should remain in the North?
Do you think he will still remain in PDP because he was working with a coalition?
He's out of PDP. He's not in PDP.
Oh, really?
He's in coalition.
Oh, Atiku has left the PDP.
He has left. Forget what they are saying. He's in a coalition with a lot of people. But however, we'll wait and see what the coalition takes. We will remain. We will remain because we have a conviction that people were in ACN, APP. In 1999, APP and PDP were reasonable at looking like a par. But before 2003, PDP was already robust and seriously had an edge. By 2007, 2009, PDP had almost 30 states, about 29. And some people still remain in their party.
But if you say that Atiku is ideologically out of the PDP, so who then is the other arm of the PDP that is? Because it is believed that it is Atiku and Wike.
No, see, let's leave Wike. Because
there are those who believe that the factors.
Let me clear this.
Controlling
there are
the
lots of people who naturally will not be with Wike if the Atiku issue is not on the burning field. There are a lot of people who naturally will be purely PDP.
But ideologically, they are forced to be with Wike.
Because they are forced to be with people because it become a rallying point to challenge that dysfunctionality that Atiku represents.
So, but if Atiku is out of the scheme now, like
so
who is there now that is
zone to the south?
So I'm saying that who is the factor outside of Atiku? Is there another person that is holding sway outside of Atiku? Since Atiku seems that
Wike became a factor as a governor. Are they not governors today?
So, it is the
Are they not governors today?
Is it the Bauchi governor?
Are they not governors today in a party? What makes you think that? Just let's do the right thing first. Obi, before the last election, how many of us believe that he could pull 6 million votes?
But
how many of us believe?
Is PDP able to use Peter Obi?
If today PDP is zoned to the south, I have a conviction Obi would be more comfortable to remain in PDP, to come to PDP. But if it's not zoned, and the dynamics and the dialectics of primary is allowed to play, he might not, just like he moved when it was not zoned, and it was not guaranteed of a VPship. So What we are saying, do the right thing first. Let me tell you something. No politician on his own has the capacity to win an election. It's a donation of goodwill. I've won election 3 times. I lost my last election. Not because I was popular and this good, but people donated their goodwill, a collective goodwill, make you win election. So this idea of making it as if it is not Mr. A, we can achieve it.
Right.
Zone to the south and see what will happen. But if you continue this trajectory and continue to, progress in error, we are postponing the doomsday.
All right. Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, former member of the House of Representatives and a member of the newly formed Concerned PDP Stakeholders Forum. Thanks so much indeed for your time. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We'll take a break, everyone. When we return, 2 Yoruba leaders will be talking to us on the Warri Delineation that is tearing that area in Delta State apart. What is the way forward? We'll be hearing from them tonight. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Where there is confusion, commotion, and disagreement in a community, those who fish together, who farm together, who eat together, dance together, and sing together, and now enemies, in fact, major national infrastructure being shot because of the disagreement, and this was because of the recent Warri Delineation exercise in Warri, which has sparked some controversy with different communities in the area expressing some dissatisfaction. And I came with a report which was presented on the 4th of April to stakeholders, which was met with some mixed reaction. So the Shakiri community criticized the delineation as unfair and arbitrary, while it just considered it as a correction of past injustices. The community representatives have expressed concern about their exclusion from the process despite their historical and political presence. The Supreme Court had given judgment in relation to this not only once, twice. We've seen almost 3 Supreme Court positions in the last few years on this matter. There are key issues here. Issues of disagreement on the number of votes based on the last election, concerning issue of fairness and representation, issues and allegations of unfair treatment, issues of collusion of some members of the judges with INEC, and disputes over boundary adjustment. Because this is another major issue. There were some boundary adjustment issue which happened. Part of the consideration in the delineation or non-consideration in all of this. Let me speak with 2 elders and leaders of the Yoruba communities in Warri area of Delta State. One you've heard on this program, but it was important for us to bring them back on this program so that we can iron these out. If the National Security Advisor, as they say, has intervened on this because it is taking a national security dimension where oil rigs and oil installation were being shot because of this matter, then we need to revisit it for the sake of peace. I'm being joined by Chief Western Madon with Iza Nirobo Chieftain. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight. And also, one of the Yoruba leaders also, Chief Victor Okumagba, is back on the program tonight. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Because you were here the last time.
Yeah.
You watched it,
Yes.
and you seem very displeased by it, isn't it? What was it that Chief Okumagba said on this program? Because he said, whatever INEC did, perfect, and the nation should go with it.
Okay, but the only difference is that we need some amendments in whatever INEC have done. That's what our only difference.
So what INEC did was not good?
Yes, because, for example, in the Warri South local government, the areas given to Urhobos, they are not much. Urhobos has the major population in Warri South. So those areas that they gave the wards, where you have 3 Ijaw wards, those are Agbara, Urhobo, Agbara Warri Kingdom. That is our gross. And there are some other wards in the 9 wards that were given to the Urhobos that they lopsided some units, which you said no, you should carry. Even my brother here is our secretary of our body. We did a write-up letter to INEC, telling them to rectify those things. So the major thing is just let's give and take.
Were you at the meeting with the NSA?
Yes.
Were you at the meeting, Chief Okumagba?
I led the delegation.
You led the delegation.
Yeah. The Urhobo delegation.
The Urhobo delegation. You are an Urhobo leader
Yes.
also. But why are you disagreeing? You are supposed to be supporting the same cause, isn't it?
Yes.
But if he says it's perfect and you say it's imperfect, and you imagine that there are the Shakiri there, there are the Ijaws and the Yoruba within the Warri South.
Yes.
So the Shakiris are not happy. They say it favors Ijaw more. Yoruba are divided. What is going on?
No, like I said, the only difference in us is that the area in question, where they gave the Jaws 3 wards, the Agbara Warri Kingdom's area.
So they should return it to...
Yes, just the naming. The naming is the issue.
What did they name it now?
They named the 3 of them Ijaw names.
And it's supposed to be Yoruba. What were they called before now?
GRA, that area was GRA.
Okay. But so it's not named by Yoruba people.
No.
Who were the more in the last election? Who were those who voted more in that area?
That area, the truth is that even if you carry a private investigator to confirm, you will not notice their villages there. That is the truth. But they have a market known as Ogbijo Market in the Warri Metropolis. And market is not residential. You don't reside in markets now.
All right. Let me allow Chief Okumaba to come in. Chief Okumaba, you have the opinion, but I'm worried. So the Yorubas are divided on this matter. Is that the case?
It is not actually so. I am very vilely disappointed. I thought I was coming here for a balanced interview between the Urhobos and the Shekiri over the issue of Shekiri claiming Warri as their homeland. That's why I'm here. I was supposed to leave Abuja by 3 when I got this information. But getting here is so sad.
And you found your brother?
I found my brother here making these assertions. My own take in this matter. INEC have done their work. And the work is perfect.
Even though he said that, he said that some of your place, GRA for example.
I'm coming. The work is perfect. And we have signed a document after the report.
Yes.
Myself and himself, we have signed a document based on the request of INEC on our observations, because that report is a proposal. INEC said, go and study the report, come with your observations, which we have done. And all these things is talking here now are inside that observation report that we sent to INEC. So I don't see, although I know, but I do not see that we will get to this extent of coming to the national television to make all this.
Is the Yoruba people should change in any way?
The Urhobos were not shortchanged in any way. I told you, I said the delineation, there were some anomalies.
Okay.
INEC cannot give beyond 20 words. And they gave the maximum of word creation according to the constitution is 20 words. And in all the 3 Warris that was delineated, it was we that got the highest because of our population, Warri South. You understand what I'm saying?
So in terms of population, it's the Urhobos followed by the Shekiri and the Ijaws. Is that the case?
No, yes. In Warri South.
In Warri South, yes.
Yes.
The population by hierarchy, Urhobos, the Shekiri and the Ijaws.
Yes.
Statistically.
Yes.
Based on the data that is available.
Exactly.
But then in terms of the delineation, the Shekiri are complaining that the Urhobos are more, followed by the Ijaws, and they are less.
No, yes. The issue is this. We should not mix these things up. We have Warri Federal Constituency, and we have Warri South that concerns us, Urhobo people. We are not in Warri North, we are not in Warri Southwest. You understand me? In Warri Federal Constituency, according to the data, the Ijaws are more. In Warri South, the Urhobos are more. The issue we are having now, we are saying the extent at which the Ijaw 3 words that was given to them spill over to some of our areas. Let INEC adjust it. Simple as ABC.
Are you on the same page on that?
And we have written to INEC. INEC, do this needful. some of these areas, this. So it is left for we and INEC now to meet.
So the
Shakiris
and the Urobos,
yeah,
they're on the same page as far as the fact that Ijaws are getting more than they should get naturally.
I come again.
The Urobos and the Shakiri.
Yes.
The Shakiris are saying the Ijaws are getting more. They got more.
We don't have any business with Shakiri.
Okay.
We do not as Urobo people.
But the Shakiri are saying that he just got more than they should naturally get.
They deserve it.
The Urobos are saying
that's
the same thing. You are saying that he just also got more.
He just got more because their population is more
than the Shakiris.
But the
Shakiris don't agree.
That is the Shakiri man for you.
Why? Why do you think?
Listen, Shehu, one day, this interview, left, right, center,
yeah,
one day, it will be of our great honor that even the journalists will come to the field.
Some of us have visited that area before.
Yes.
We've covered.
So if you've covered that area before, you should know what we're talking about.
So there is an enormous water body in that area.
You don't delineate water.
So the point I'm making
you
here
delineate where people are inhabiting.
What about the boundary adjustment document and the agreement that was made?
Which boundary adjustment document?
Well, there are issues of the boundary adjustment that were being contemplated.
Yes.
There is a Supreme Court judgment.
Yes.
And there are those who believe that the interests of those, whether in the upland or those considerations were not properly put into what INEC has done.
Now, this
put into what INEC has done.
Now, this is the only organ that has power to delineate what is INEC constitutionally. Not so. The Supreme Court said, whatever you have there before, including what you are saying now, Shehu, everything is nullified. That's the Supreme Court order.
But what about the boundary judge?
The
boundary adjustment that have been made.
Listen, all the datas.
Yeah.
It envelopes all the datas. All the datas that cumulated to having those words for
Chief
the
Westham, do you agree with him?
They are all.
What is maybe you are trying to, when you talk about boundary, you are trying to miss what is on ground, because the words, they were delineated, a map given to all the tribes. In our case, in Warri South, even the INEC, they made some mistakes. Because even the words they claimed they created for the judges, they were not mentioned. There's only one word. So it's simple. You know what? One thing I want to tell this audience, I want to tell everybody is that if we tell ourselves the bitter truth, we can live together, work together, eat together, do everything together. We have common boundary. We are almost related and everything. So if those areas that are in Agbara, Warri Kingdom, if they are properly named without problem, let them reflect the name of Urobos of Warri South.
Okay.
That is it.
He said he's disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Can you respond to that? Why would you come when you are of the same alignment, and then it does look like you have your bias for the Shakiri in the manner in which you're speaking? What do you have against the Ijaws?
No, I don't have anything against the Ijaws. The truth is that, like you said, that you've been to that area before. You know the setting of a community. You know the setting of a village. You even know the setting of a modern community.
Yeah.
If you come to Warri, the area in question, from the Bowen Avenue Junction to John Oates, Catholic Church, Bishop Market, those areas, those are the boundaries of Agbara Warri Kingdom. And those are the areas they erroneously put in the Ijaw areas as wards. So we are saying let them readjust them. If they readjust them, we don't have problem.
But he said that was captured in the report sent back to INEC.
Yes. So we want INEC to effect it.
And if that is done...
If they effect it, we don't have problem.
So if they effect it, to effect to whose favor?
To be to Urobo favor now. Because we have majority.
But why are the Shakiris unhappy in this matter?
You see, Shakiris, they are unhappy. They are talking about the 3 Warris. The Warri Federal Constituency. Because in the past, in the Warri North, they used to have more wards than the Jaws. Same thing for Warri Southwest.
Yeah.
Because INEC now send their field officers, and based on the field officers' reports, there were some differences, which they can resolve.
Chief Okumagba,
Yeah.
how do you think it's best to address this situation? And you say you are surprised that your fellow Urobo leader is speaking on this matter in this way. The Shakiris are unhappy, the Jaws are unhappy. Oh, well, the Jaws may not be unhappy because it does look at the entire thing favor them. But why does the Shakiri people believe that there is a connivance between INEC between INEC and the Jaws? Why?
You see, let me tell you. The Shakiris are not happy, particularly not Warri North, Warri Southwest. Though they are angry, but their major gross is Warri South, which they consider as the seat of their Olu.
Okay.
That's their bone, that's their pain. Not because of Warri Southwest, Warri North, Warri North. Though fine, those ones they were aggrieved, but their major pain is Warri South, where they consider Warri South, or rather Warri Township, as the seat of the Olu. And that's my point. That's my take on this matter. No Shekiri man born on our life will come and say Warri is his hometown. I will nobody.
So you think that validly that Urobo owns Warri?
Yes, Urobo owns Warri. Now I want to show you one document, just two documents. Just two documents.
Is that right?
Yoruba majority Warri.
Urobo owned Warri. Urobo owned Warri. Not majority, Urobo owned Warri. Now, this is a document in 19...
Is that right? You don't seem to...
Shakiris have some areas.
There is
Warri,
no...
but Urobo has majority.
There is no Shakiri community in Warri. What they have there is settlement. What they have there is settlement. The only Shakiri community you have in Warri town is Uguangwe and Ubeji. And prior to the establishment of Federal Government College, Ogunu, there was no road to Ubeji, to Uguangwe.
But Shakiris will say that most of the natural, they will say most of the oil benefits infrastructure in that area is around.
Go with your oil in your river area. We are talking about Warri Township. Warri Township we are talking about. We are not arguing your Warri Southwest, Warri North with you. What we are concerned is Warri Southwest. Prior to the proclamation of the Land Use Act, this is that the Shekiri people. This is what they are using to pay us rent. This is Ossie College.
Chief Westham, do you think that is the right way to resolve this matter? No. Or what in your own right do you think is the best way to resolve
this? This is the rent they are paying us. This is the one of 1959.
You know what is trying to...
How can the Shekiri man come and say Warri is his own
show is that, like in Warri, Urobos will have two kingdoms. And one, you have Ukere Kingdom and Agbara Warri Kingdom. Ukere they worried them to the extent that they even went to Supreme Court. And this is one of the documents they used in winning the case of their areas to the Supreme Court. So they are aborigine of the area. The truth is that the truth must be said, like I said earlier. Urobos are in majority in Warri South, but you have some Shakiris too, villages in Warri.
That's not correct.
All right. Well, gentlemen.
That is not correct.
That's where
I am telling you the establishment in just 1 minute.
All right, sir.
I'm telling you, this is a document where they took permission to bury their dead body in Warri Town, Shekiri. Look at it. In 2020, in the Igbudu community. This is the document. You say Warri is your homeland.
All right.
You understand? So what I'm saying is this. There is no community, Shekiri community, in Warri South.
All right.
What they have is settlement. Ubeji is not part of Warri Town.
All right.
Uguangwe is not part of Warri Town.
All right.
So the Urobos of Warri occupies more than 90% of what is known and called Warri today.
Chief Westham and Chief Victor Okumagba, both of them Urobo elders. Thank you so much indeed, gentlemen, for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I'm sure Akimale. God bless Nigeria.